Hello, and welcome to another heartwarming episode of the Hellion Rebellion Rock and Roll Association. If you are new subscribers, welcome to the association. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. What? Did I hear you say you wanted a moment of what? You wanted a moment of silence? Uh, we don't want moments of silence on this show. We want as least amount of moments of silence as we can get. But they do happen. So we have to honor those moments of silence. And tonight's uh, moment of silence goes out to Brian John Duffy, also known as Jet Black. He was the drummer and one of the founding members of one of Britain's most famous punk rock, proto punk bands, new wave bands, the Stranglers. I swear, I think he's the second one in 2 years now. If they keep dropping like flies, I mean, they're going to have to change their name to the Strangled if this keeps happening. But let's go ahead and give our moment of respect to Mr. Jet Black. Okay. May Brian John Duffy, aka Jet Black, find a loving embrace in the heavenly cosmos above. So tonight we are going into a time warp back to 1993 when the grunge rock, the alternative rock monster, Hydra headed monster, just reared its ugly heads and just took over the music industry. Grunge rock. Let me start. Let me start over. I absolutely hate the term grunge rock. I hate the term alternative music. I hate post punk. I hate new wave. I hate modern this or postmodern that. I can't stand these labels, and it's going to be hard for me to talk about this era of time and this kind of music without using terms like alternative and grunge. Um, I just in my older years, I'm realizing it's just easier and people understand it better if I use that terminology. So I'm going to. So if I start dry heaving because I've used the term alternative or grunge too many times, don't mind me. Let it do it. Let it do its thing, and I'll get back to it. So grunge rock took the world and definitely the United States by storm. It really stomped on anything that came before it. The same would go with alternative music. I guess rap music would have been the other really big genre showing up at that time. Yeah, it wasn't showing up at that time, but it was blowing up in a way it had never blown up before. So there wasn't any town, any city, any state, any county, any country who didn't have at least one band playing some version of alternative grunge rock. It's only rock and roll, but we like it. the great state of Louisiana would be no different. And what would come out of that state would be a band called Bone China. There's the fellas. Bone China would get their name from a one of the biggest Mother Love Bone songs ever recorded. And when you listen to this band, you can tell that these guys really like some Mother Love Bone. I was at the right place at the right time, and I went ahead and bought a $10 ticket to go see this band. And it was in the town of Gonzales, Louisiana, which I believe this band is from. Gonzales is roughly 15 to 20 minutes south of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and roughly 45 minutes north of New Orleans. So I went ahead, got the ticket, went to the show, and I was just flabbergasted that, I mean, I swear there had to have been 150 to 200 people here. You know, I was expecting some independent kind of like, you know, friends and family showing up, maybe 50 people. Oh no, this was a pretty big show for such as underground band. It was at a concert hall. It was professionally done, and Bone China they took the show. They were the best band there, and they were definitely the headliners. Bone China, I think, gets started around 1991. They would peak around 1993. They were very popular in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Shreveport, Hattiesburg, Biloxi, Jackson. They also had a somewhat of a following in Houston and Dallas. That's kind of the territory that these guys were in. And I think they went on to about the late 90s, but I'm really not sure. The last thing I hear about this band is that they were living in Syracuse, New York, and they had put something out around 2002 or something. But I would be very interested to hear whatever kind of information you have on these guys, or just your thoughts in general. You know, like always, put them in the comments below. I would definitely like to know more about these guys because it is very hard to find anything about them on the interwebs. So, these guys are they are a very guitar-driven, hard rock version of, I would say, more of the popular alternative bands of the time, like a very hard rock version of the Spin Doctors, a hard rock version of Gene Loves Jezebel, a hard rock version of Jimmy Eats World, is kind of what they do, but they also have like a few songs that are very almost metal. You can tell that they're more influenced by Mother Love Bone, by Soundgarden, by Alice in Chains. So that's kind of what they were doing at this time. And are you ready for the time warp? Because trust me, when I start playing this, you are going to be transported right back to 1992 or 1993. So hold on to your butts.
Chocolate cake for breakfast at 1:30 in the
Stone Cold Jam. So there you go, Mr. Mellow by the one and only Bone China. Like I said, I would love to hear any kind of information you have on this band. They were fun to watch. I still remember seeing this show, and yeah, there you go. I'm glad. I'm glad I could transport you back into time with my musical time machine. Honestly, that's what music does a lot of times. Just transports you back, and that's a good thing because you can never go home, but you can be reminded. So I will see you next time. I love y'all.